am Jana Bosonko, and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue. Thanks for joining us. And now here are the main local and sports news headlines. President Barrow bestowed a national honor on the departing Chinese ambassador to the Gambia, His Excellency Ma Jiang-chung, for his contribution to Gambia's socio-economic development. President Barrow also received in audience the newly elected president of Rafael Africa, the mayor of Banjul, Rohey Malik Low. And the Gambia Prison Service on Thursday briefed the media about the recent prison escape, details of which were widely shared on social media. In a quarterly press briefing of the Central Bank of the Gambia's Monetary Policy Committee, the committee has increased the monetary policy rate from 10 to 11%. And in sports news, we find out why the Gambia will play their first 2023 AFCON qualifier against South Sudan at the Latjor Stadium in Thiès, Senegal, on Saturday instead of the Independence Stadium in Bakau. Now those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay with us. Thank you for joining us, and I am Jana Bosonko. Now, President Barrow bestowed a national honor on the departing Chinese ambassador to the Gambia, His Excellency Ma Jiang-chung, for his contribution to Gambia's socio-economic development during his time in the Gambia. And Sumana Isonyasi has the rest of that story.
Having ended his tour of duty in the Gambia, His Excellency Ma Jiang-chung bade farewell to President Barrow, but not without a pleasing surprise. He is awarded one of the country's highest honors, the insignia of the Grand Order of the Republic of the Gambia, in recognition of his invaluable contribution to the Gambia's socio-economic advancement. Ambassador Ma is credited with spearheading numerous life-changing infrastructural projects, such as the Sadauda Keraba Jawara International Conference Center, several roads and bridges projects in the URR, developments at the Sapo rice fields, and the awarding of countless scholarships to Gambian students for studies in China, amongst others. Gambia's Foreign Affairs Minister, Mamadou Tangara, praised His Excellency Ma Jiang-chung, describing him as a true friend of the Gambia, adding that he is deserving of such recognition given his personal intervention in ensuring the successful implementation of many China-funded projects in the Gambia since his appointment as Chinese envoy to the Gambia in 2016.
The Gambia bids farewell to Ambassador Ma with mixed feelings, as he has stood out distinctly as a true friend of the Gambia and a champion of our bilateral relations. Thus, we are sad that he is leaving the shores of this country, but equally, we note with a great sense of joy and pride the immense and meaningful contributions he made in fostering not only the Gambia's socio-economic development, but also a win-win cooperation between the People's Republic of China and the Gambia.
As he ends his tour of duty in the Gambia, Ambassador Ma Jiang-chung expressed gratitude to the people and government of the Gambia, especially President Barrow, for bestowing on him an award he described as the highest and probably the most important award of his diplomatic career, adding that this gesture is a clear manifestation of the growing bilateral ties between Beijing and Banjul.
It is my great honor to be conferred the National Award of the Gambia by His Excellency President Barrow. I would like to express my profound appreciations to His Excellency President Barrow and the Gambia government and the Gambian people.
At the end of this short ceremony, attended by the Vice President, members of the Diplomatic Corps, cabinet ministers and senior government officials, there was another surprise for the outgoing ambassador, a reception by the head of state. Ambassador Ma Jiang-chung is a seasoned diplomat with an enviable resume and has served in many countries. However, he says the Gambia will forever have a special place in his heart. Answana Isonyasi for QTV News.
Now, congratulations to Ambassador Ma Jiang-chung. Now, President Barrow on Thursday received in audience the newly elected president of Rafael Africa, the mayor of Banjul, Rohey Malik Low, accompanied by executive members of Rafael National Chapter. She thanked the president for his personal support, which greatly contributed to her winning the presidency. And Sumana Isonyasi again.
Her ascension to the presidency of the 130 million member continental organization has been hailed by Gambians across the political divide as a victory for Gambian women. However, all this may have proven too difficult to achieve if not for the support of the Gambian people, especially President Barrow, who along with his cabinet ministers, led by Foreign Affairs Minister Mamadou Tangara, spearheaded the campaign for our election. And in a show of appreciation, the newly elected president of Rafael in Africa, Mayor Rafael Lowe, pays a courtesy call on President Barrow. Aissatou Njai, coordinator of Rafael National Chapter, thanked the Gambian leader for his support to Gambian women. Rafael, she says, is here to empower women. Rafael Africa President, Mayor Rafael Lowe, expressed gratitude to President Barrow for his personal support to her presidential bid, adding that her election victory should inspire young women and girls in the Gambia. And she gave an assurance of her unwavering commitment to live up to expectations. Meanwhile, she asked the President's support for the creation of a good quality, well-functioning Rafael office for Gambian women.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, we, the Rafael, the Gambia chapter, have come here today to say thank you. You have always said you are president for all Gambians, and I stand here today to give testimony to that. Your support and encouragement gave us the victory, and we are proud of you.
For his part, President Barrow congratulated Mayor Rafael Lowe on her election victory, adding that government and the people of the Gambia are proud of Mayor Lowe's achievement, and he promises government support to ensuring that she succeeds during her tenure.
We are very proud of the newly elected President Rafael Lowe. I will seize this opportunity to congratulate Rafael Lowe and her team and the entire Gambian people. On my behalf, on behalf of the government, I congratulate Rafael Lowe for this rare victory.
Other speakers included the Minister of Foreign Affairs Mamadou Tangara and Fatou Kinte, Minister for Women, Gender, Children and Social Welfare, who all congratulated Mayor Lowe and assured of their continued support. Before her ascension to the Rafael presidency, Mayor Lowe, who is also the Vice Chairperson of the Global Parliament of Mayors, was previously elected Vice President of Rafael in West Africa. Ansmane Sonyasi for KTV News.
Well, congratulations. Now, in a quarterly press briefing on the decisions of the Central Bank of the Gambia's Monetary Policy Committee, the governor of the bank announced an accelerating increase in commodity prices, mainly due to the war in Ukraine and disruptions in the supply chain. Given the economic outlook of the Gambia, the Monetary Policy Committee has increased the monetary policy rate from 10 to 11%. Mamadou Lamin Choi tells us more.
The Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, of the Central Bank of the Gambia met on Monday and Tuesday to review developments in the global and domestic economy. The committee has noted, quote-unquote, a remarkable change in the global economies since its last meeting in February. This includes commodity prices of food and energy, which is attributed to the geopolitical tensions in Europe due to the war in Ukraine. The central bank governor briefs the media on the MPC's policy decision.
Low-income countries, in particular, are bearing the brunt of the economic consequences of the conflict in Ukraine through sharp increase in the cost of living with rising concerns of increasing food insecurity amid supply constraints.
In this current economic outlook, shrouded in uncertainty, headline inflation has skyrocketed, causing a 3.5% increase in commodity prices, mainly food. The seasonal effects of Ramadan in market prices is said to have partly contributed to this spike in food prices.
On price developments, inflationary pressures continue to persist, with headline inflation accelerating from 8.2% in March 2022 to 11.7% in April 2022. The significant rise in inflation is driven primarily by the surge in food inflation, which picked up from 9.2% in March 2022 to 11.6% in April 2022.
In the period under review, government's expenditure has increased higher than in the same period last year. This widened the deficit to 2.3% of GDP in the first quarter of 2022, recording a 1.3% increase from the corresponding period in 2021. From April 2021 to April 2022, the dollar has depreciated against the US dollar by 4.6%, but appreciated against the euro and pound sterling by 3.9% and 1.9% respectively. As of May 2022, the central bank's gross external reserve stood at $468 million, which is deemed adequate to cover over 6 months of imports of goods and services.
The Monetary Policy Committee has decided the following. Increase the monetary policy rate by 1 percentage point to 11%. Maintain the reserve requirement at 13%. Maintain the interest rate on the standing deposit facility at 3%. And the standing lending facility 1 percentage point over the monetary policy rate, meaning 12%.
The increase in commodity imports in the Gambia is also attributed to domestic bottlenecks at the Banjul port and a slight exchange rate depreciation. During this period of both internal and external economic shocks on our economy, the financial sector is said to be stable and resilient with robust liquidity and capital ratios. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
From that story by Mamadou Lamin Choi, we will now go for a short commercial break. And when we return, we have some more local news stories for you as well as sports. Do stay tuned.
As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, the Gambia's trusted network.
To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Jenna Bostonko. Now, the Gambia Prison Service on Thursday briefed the media about the prison escape after details were widely shared on social media. Lola M. Camara attended the press conference and files in this report.
According to the Deputy PRO of the Gambia Prison Services, Luke Jetta, 2 inmates who are on remand as they are on trial for burglary and theft escaped from Mile 2 Central Prisons last Friday, the 28th of May. Responding to reports circulating on social media, Jata states that it was a prison escape and not a prison break as reported.
And this was what the social media platform indicated, saying recent jailbreak at Mile 2 Central Prison. And then this alone is alarming when you say jailbreak, meaning that means that there was an affray. That means there was scuffle, there was mutiny that had led to this escape. But to us, it's not a prison break, because if it was prison break, we would have seen the evidence of prison break, meaning that maybe properties and life could be at stake. In so doing, we said this is prison escape. Escape happens in different form. Okay? And here we confirm to say, of course, we had escape on the 20th of May as it is written. That's why today we are saying we are debunking any information that has been gathered here to say that there was prison break. We never had any prison break.
In a Q&A, Deputy Piero Jata explains how the 2 inmates managed to escape. And since then, the authorities have launched a manhunt to apprehend them.
Through our investigation, we came to find out this was way more what we were expecting. It was a planting. And then because of officers were more vigilant too, it did not have. So they used an opportunity to distract the officers in charge then. So through that distraction, there was a little bit of commotion. So by virtue, because normally our conduct is, of course, they have a right to be outside within the cells at a limited time, and then that they go. So it was that opportunity they also planned to take.
Mr. Jatta further outlined some of the challenges the department faces.
But looking at also the security of our walls, anybody could use any means to escape. And also, what would also be, could also be a key factor is probably the tools that we have at hand could not also be an avenue where we are able to stop them. Imagine having the seal on your button. He can, with all, want to sustain any injury just to make it so that he escapes. Because a seal on a button, all it can do is just inflict pain on you. But if you have other thing that could be used in the prison, let's say, could probably arm and ammunitions.
The deputy PRO advised media practitioners to always verify information before circulating it to the public. He reaffirmed the prison service commitment to always ensuring the security and safety of the public. At the end of the press briefing, Deputy PRO Jatta said, in connection to last year's prison break in Josuan Prison, where 14 prisoners escaped, they were able to capture some. For QTV News, Loliam Kamara.
From that clarification, the Gambia's Public Utilities Authority, PURA, with stakeholders have validated the recently developed water and sewage service regulation for a national water regulatory framework which will provide access to quality water to the country. More in this report by Ajibin Tudrame.
Water is vital and a basic human right. Therefore, access to clean water is significant. PURA deems it necessary to validate a new water and sewage framework because the Gambia is still operating an outdated 1979 National Water Resources Act, which the regulators believe is inadequate to address issues inherent in the sector. Yusufa M. Job, the Director General of PURA, says it is time to transform the way we manage water resources to deliver reliable and efficient water sanitation services that are accessible and affordable to everyone.
It is our strategic goal to improve the regulatory framework by coming up with the regulation and to develop all the required guidelines and standards that are necessary for the implementation of the regulation. As you may know, our water services is predominantly delivered by NAWEC. We believe that regulation will not only improve the performance of NAWEC in this sector, but also promote competition, private sector involvement, licensing, to ensure fair play.
DG Job says control and legal framework are among key instruments to transform the water and sanitation sector. As part of addressing this, the water bill has been presented to the National Assembly. Mr. Job says he hopes that the bill is enacted to address water issues in the country. Dembo Fati, representing the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Health, also had this to say.
Multiple indicators cluster survey is concerned of 2018. 47% of the population, only 47% of the population have access to sanitation, basic sanitation services. Improvement is about 61%, and hygiene is 30.9, which is 31% of the Gambia's total population, which calls for a concern in what respect? The quality of water in the country is being really compromised, particularly at the consumption level, which stands at 43%. Of all water sources are contaminated with coliform, of about 75% that are consumed at the household level are also contaminated with coliform, which calls for an alarm.
Mr. Fati implored stakeholders to fully participate in this event to design an action-oriented approach to achieve the sector's goals. Aliu M. Gom, PURA Board Chairperson, says maintaining good quality water supply has become a constant challenge in the Gambia.
These envisaged regulations will play an important role in the progressive transformation of the Gambia water and sanitation sector. Regulations are needed to support the implementation of our policies and laws. The important water and sanitation sectors have been starved of such development. I'm therefore hopeful that these regulations will back up and support the water and sanitation policies.
The Gambia has abundant water resources. However, poor water and waste management, urbanization, climate change and inadequate capacity of utilities in the water and sanitation sector are among factors determining the quality of the water supply. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
From that story by Ajibintu Drame, let's take a look at what is happening in the world of sports. Now, the Gambia will play their first 2023 AFCON qualifier against South Sudan at the Lat Stadium in Thiès, Senegal on Saturday. They're having to play in Senegal due to a ban on the Independence Stadium, which fails to meet CAF regulations or requirements. How are the Scorpions fans preparing to travel and watch the game? Mamadou Gajaga spoke to some fans and files in this report.
Gambian football fans are preparing to travel to Senegal to watch the Gambia versus South Sudan AFCON qualifier, the home game away from home. The fans are having to travel to another country for a home game as they cannot use the Independence Stadium in Barrow due to its poor condition. Instead, Senegal's Lat Stadium in Thiès will host the match on Saturday. Famara Silla, Secretary General of the Scorpions Fans Club, talks about how it would have been preferable for the game to be played at home.
Definitely, and Safoko ha mandientolye because nalako maybe mansakundanya neka adeda madeja mansafarama adeda itolalo munad de madeda.
Yes, to be honest, we are not happy that the match is going to be played away from home. If we had it our own way, we would have loved for the game to be played here at the Independence Stadium, where people could come out in their numbers to support the team.
However, despite the inconvenience of travel for what should have been a home game, Famara Silla says he will give full support to the team. Seydou Cisse is another fan who says even though the match will be played in Senegal, for him it feels like home from home.
Okay, our main intention was the game to be played in the Gambia, but unfortunately we all know CAF has already suspended the Gambia due to our stadium how it is. That's why we cannot play our qualified rounds in our own country. But nonetheless, we all know Gambia and Senegal is all the same because people have been going to Senegal for different missions. So we as the National Scorpion Fans Club also going to Senegal, support our nation is like, we are all, is like the same thing.
Abdoulaye Chor, an ardent supporter of the Scorpions, says he is preparing to give the best drumming to the players to fire them up for the encounter with South Sudan.
People will show us.
We are ever ready. Whenever our players are playing, people will see something special from us.
During matches, some of the Scorpions fans go the extra mile by painting themselves in the national colors of red, white, blue and green. Bakari Keita, a fan, does the painting and he explains.
It's another thing that we painted the national flag. Million people they support.
We love our country. As fans, it gives us a lot of inspiration. All we see and love is the Gambia.
For matches to resume at this Independence Stadium, the stands have to be fitted with seats. There needs to be an expansion of the dressing rooms. They have to modernize the media tribune, improve sanitation, and maintain a high-quality pitch. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
Good luck to our Scorpions ahead of the game. Now, before we end this news bulletin, let's recap our main headlines. President Adam Barrow bestowed a national honor on the departing Chinese ambassador to the Gambia, His Excellency Ma Jiang-chung, for his contribution to Gambia's socio-economic development. President Barrow also received in audience the newly elected president of Rafael Africa, the mayor of Banjul, Rohey Malik Lowe. And also, the Gambia Prison Service on Thursday briefed the media about the recent prison escape, details of which were widely shared on social media. In a quarterly press briefing of the Central Bank of the Gambia's Monetary Policy Committee, the committee has increased the monetary policy rate from 10 to 11%. And in sports news, we found out why the Gambia will play their first 2023 AFCON qualifier against South Sudan at the Lat Stadium in Thiès, Senegal on Saturday instead of the Independence Stadium in Barrow. Well, that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Join us at 10 for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.